Hello there, modern man. In this episode, we have Tripp Kramer, who is the owner of Tripp Advice, and he is an expert in dating advice for men. And I am so glad that he's here with us because we're going to find all sorts of nuggets about how to have sexual magnetism for the opposite sex. So, welcome, Tripp.
Thanks, Dr. Ann. I appreciate being here and excited to help out your audience. So thank you for having me.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to our episode because I'm just going to dive into it. And you're in the world of dating, which is a very complex world. And so, what are the common problems or challenges that you face with men with dating in 2025 at this point?
Yeah, in 2025, there's a lot. I'd say in no particular order, you would say right now men just don't really know how to act with women. They're just a little bit lost because women want very masculine guys, but women have become more masculine over the past 30, 40 years. Men are a little bit more turned off by the fact that women are saying that they don't need a man and that women are really trying to make a life for themselves that doesn't necessarily need a man like we did in 50, 60, 70 years ago. And so there's this kind of gender war going on between men and women that's making it harder for everyone to get together and respect each other. And so men just don't really know what to do. Meanwhile, they're trying to do online dating because that's so easy to just do on your phone. But online dating is very challenging to meet women on there. And then if they want to meet women in person, it's confusing. They don't know what to do because of the Me Too movement and women saying online that it's creepy when guys approach. But then they also say that they do want them to approach and why aren't men approaching anymore? So a lot of mixed signals coming in from women, from society, from the internet, and they're just a little bit lost, more lost than they ever have been. I would say over 10 years ago, it was very simple. It was just, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous to talk to women and I don't know how to flirt. That was really the only issues. Now we've stacked it all and it's become challenging to be able to meet women in this modern world. So that's what we're dealing with right now.
Wow. That is very, very interesting. And I actually do see that at this point. And it's even more challenging, particularly in the population I work with, older men over 50, let's say divorced or widow, lost his partner, now back in the dating world and starting to see these challenges now and trying to navigate that. So, how do you advise men to navigate this tough water right now?
Keep it simple. Everything with this, because it's so complicated, has to be simplified. So we need to go to the very basics of what attraction is. Attraction has not changed. So that's what men have to understand. Women have to understand that too. But we're talking to men right now. Attraction has not changed. Women are attracted to a specific set of traits from men. That's just how it is. It's primal. So we have to tap into those traits. And that is what's going to help with building attraction with women. I'm just kind of giving you a very bird's eye view of it all. But then the second problem is, okay, great. I understand how to attract women and flirt, and I understand the male and female dynamics. But how do I meet women? That's the other part, because online dating isn't working for me, or I have approach anxiety, or whatever complaints men have right now about meeting women. In 2025, it's all about volume. It's all about volume, which means that you have to be getting lots of chances at bat to A, have a chance to see if a woman's going to be attracted to you because they have a lot of options today, or B, find someone who you are attracted to because it's important to know who you're going to like as well. So in order to do that, we need volume. So we need to do everything. I am not anti-approaching. I'm not anti-online dating. I'm not anti any way of meeting women. My whole theory is you have to give yourself all the different options possible. So online, approaching, through your social circle, through events, meetups and single events, whatever you can find in your city, all of it, all the above, and then maximize the output of all those different things. For example, you want to be swiping at least an hour a day. You want to be approaching women at least a couple times per week, at least. And the more and more you do that, what's really cool is you're not going to just get more chances at bat to meet a woman that you enjoy and she enjoys you, but you're also going to get better at the art of being able to attract a woman, because you can't just learn any skill from a book and then it's there. You need to practice it. You need to put it into play.
Wow. That sounds like marketing. You gotta be out there. You gotta create multiple messages on different platforms, like you said, in person, online, and at events and social circles and volume. And it's very, very interesting. So, can you talk about the trait that you mentioned earlier? And the attraction has not changed. I love that. Absolutely. Attraction has not changed in 2025 or in 1925 or 1825. You're still men, you're still women, and there are certain things that women are attracted to. So let's dive deep into that. What are those traits?
Cool. So we have to break it down to what are women attracted to in a primal sense. And I did not make this up. This is from research, real research that has been done, data that has been collected over several cultures, by the way, to find out that no matter where you're from or who you are, if you are a female, then you are going to be attracted to this set of traits. The set of traits can be categorized as provider and protector traits. Okay, so provider protector traits are traits that a man can exhibit that are going to be the most attractive to women. So obviously, you got some that are money, resources. So again, provider protector traits, being able to protect the family and get access to resources. So if you have money, that's going to help. I know that scares some guys away, so don't worry, we're going to get into that. I know not every guy has money, or it's very vague of how much money do you really need. We'll get into that. So money, strength, mentally and physically. So someone who can protect usually is someone who doesn't have any sort of emotional issue or disorder, so that they can be around to, again, protect the family. So that's going to also have to do with your ability to be decisive and to lead and to make decisions that are going to help the family, as well as just general common sense and intellect. So all these things are things that are going to help protect and provide for a family. Okay, because it's not that women are necessarily weak, although they have done studies that the male body generally typically is stronger, usually taller, but women get pregnant. And when they're pregnant, they cannot protect the family and they have to be bearing the child and taking care of the child. So that's where this is all coming from. This is based in evolutionary theory. So leader, provider, protector, intellect, social charisma, right? If you're someone who's well connected and you're good with people, that's also a sign that you can access resources. So I'd say that's a majority of it. What I teach here at Tripp Advice is how to access those without having to be super well connected like a celebrity, or super rich or super tall. Do those things help? Absolutely. If you are super rich, super tall, super good looking, a celebrity of some sort, you can pretty much be with most women. Now, a lot of the rhetoric online is that if you don't have that, then you're just not going to be able to get anywhere. And it's money, looks, and status. If you don't have that, nothing's going to happen. I'm coming here to tell you that that is not true. You don't need to have the most extreme versions of all that. Instead, you just need to display personality traits that exhibit that. Now, to be fair, no, you cannot use and tap into these traits and be someone who has no path, no purpose. You're completely broke. You're living at home with your parents. You're not good socially. Like those things, you have to have a bare minimum. I would say it's like a spectrum. If you have it all, rich, famous, etc., you get more options with women. If you're at the bottom where you're a loner and you have no money and you have nothing going on for yourself, I don't know, you're homeless, let's say, you clearly don't have a lot more options with women here. But the more you can tap into these traits, the more opportunities you have. Is that clear?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's almost like women want to feel a sense of safe and being protected. And that is either you're a human or you're a bird because you want to feel protected because you're going to be pregnant, you're going to have babies that you need to protect, but you need somebody to protect you as well as shelter, physical and mental protection. But I like the way that you break that down. But the first thing I thought about, well, that's a kind of big order, a tall order there for men to have financial and physical strength, mental strength, and social status. We're not talking about the movie stars. They're movie stars for a reason. They have this physical attribute, whether they have the personality trait, we don't know. But the physical attribute, I'll ask you something about that later. But how are average daily men who does not have an APAP, who are in their 50s, who are just now coming out of a divorce. They've been married, let's say 25 years, and it's out of a divorce, haven't dated in a while, not in the best of shape, middle class level. And how does he optimize his chances in dating?
Absolutely. So here's the good news. Here's what I found. This is, again, all the common rhetoric happening right now online. Looks matter, personality matters a lot more. There's a heavier weight in terms of being able to provide for the family when you have certain capabilities in your personality. So, yeah, if you're tall, you're strong, you're lean, you have an 8 pack, does that help? Yes. But you don't necessarily need that. And you can make up for that with some of the personality traits that we can talk and dive into deeper for men who are, over 40. So that's just has to be clear. Now, with that being said, of course, if you're severely obese and you're just not in any shape whatsoever, then that is going to hurt your chances. You're over 230 pounds and you don't take care of your grooming or your style and you just don't look well kept, then yeah, that's not going to help. But there's quick little fixes you could do that. Obviously, you can't lose weight that fast, but you can at least do some grooming and wear some clothes that's instantly going to make you look a lot better. And you should be working on getting your weight down. You don't need to be jacked. I'm telling you that right now. Yes, the muscles help, but you don't need it. Okay. So I would say, again, you want to work on it all, but there's going to be a heavier weight with your personality traits. So what does that mean? The old saying, confidence, women are attracted to it. I mean, that's really it in a nutshell. But what does confidence look like? So it's confidence, it's charisma, it's path and purpose. So if you are a person, even if you're over 40, middle class, divorced, couple kids, just getting and fixing ED, whatever it may be, you can work on your personality, you can work on your charisma and confidence to become an attractive person. And the way that you do this is by talking to lots of women. So you have to have more experiences with women. I know before this, Anne, we were talking about sexual confidence. One of the biggest things about sexual confidence and confidence in general is two things. It's mindset and it's competence. That's all it is. Okay, so mindset and competence. So if you are competent, meaning you are good at something, whatever that is, competent, let's say now in socializing or sex, that means that you're good at it. How did you get good at it? You practiced it. You had experiences with it. You went out, you talked to women, you went on dates, you had sexual experiences, you had times where you flirted with women, you got rejected, you didn't get rejected. You put yourself out there enough, you build that competence, you build that skill set. But then there's mindset. If you don't like yourself and you have low self-esteem and you don't think that you're a guy who's worthy of a woman to have sex with or a woman to date, then really none of it's going to matter. But it's all very interconnected and circular. You don't kind of sit at home and build self-esteem. Self-esteem is built through the act of doing, being competent in whatever area that you're trying to be competent in. And also, self-esteem is built by keeping the promises that you make to yourself. So if you're always working on something and you have goals, whether it's in your career or your hobbies, or just hanging out with friends and making friends and being around people and going to the gym and saying that you're going to do something and you're going to do it and you're going to follow through, little by little, like a house that's being built, every little brick makes you feel better about who you are. okay, so now I'm feeling better about who I am because I'm working on myself. I'm going to the gym. I'm putting on new clothes. I'm approaching some women. I'm trying new things. I'm trying new hobbies. Little by little, you start to feel more worthy. And it's this awesome snowball effect where then you like yourself. You start to feel deserving of having an amazing woman. You start to act like that when you're talking to women, when you're being sexual with them, when you're in the bedroom with them. And it's this kind of slow process that you build yourself up to be that person, even if you don't have a six pack, even if you're not super rich, even if you're a guy who's fresh out of a divorce. So no, it's not instant. That's not how life works. Nothing in this world is, but this is not this feat where you have to be making several six figures a year and have an eight pack.
I love that. And when you said sexual confidence come from mindset and competence, what is the mindset you're thinking about? Like what type of thought that he needs to make an affirmation in his mind? And is it something that an affirmation he needs to do every day or is it a routine? Because mindset sometimes is a little like a vague term. What does that
Yeah.
mean? Mindset. So can you dive into that?
Yep. I have a few mindsets for you. I think that one of the biggest ones is confidence is not perfection. And you combined with that is progress is more important than perfection. So this is what stops us from taking action. I still deal with this on a daily basis. And then I snap myself out of it because I come back to the mindset. We're human and we don't want to make mistakes or errors. And because of that, it can prevent us from taking action because we're too scared to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes and you have to make mistakes. That is the toll that you have to pay in order to get better at something. So you have to understand that you're not going to be going and having amazing first dates, amazing sexual experiences, amazing approaches, amazing times in the gym, amazing times at your work all the time. That's not life. Life is actually more so filled with a lot of errors and rejection and problems. And I don't say that in a negative or pessimistic way. It's just what has to happen to get to the points where then you've accomplished something and then you feel amazing. Otherwise, everything would be easy. Everyone would just have everything all the time. So you have to have that mindset and remember that. If you want to make that real quick and to the point, you could just remember progress is more important than perfection. And you'll never reach that. And that's okay because it's never about perfection. It's about progress. So that's one of my biggest ones I like to tell people. Any thoughts on that? Because I got another one for you.
That makes sense. It's like I play tennis. If you want to get better in your skills and stroke, you got to go out there and practice, 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 practice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. Here's a motivational mindset. So it helps motivate you. And it's a mindset that is going to help you take more action and try to be a better person every day. This was taught to me over 15 years ago by a mentor of mine. He said to me, successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. What that means is there's a lot of people in this world who won't do the hard thing or go the extra mile, and they just won't succeed. But the people, all the people who've been successful, and I don't mean Elon Musk, Trump, whoever, the most successful people in the world, whoever you see that is, I don't mean you have to be to that degree, but just your everyday person who's being successful or moving forward or building something is doing actions and taking actions that other people aren't. So you have to do those actions. So for example, let's say going to the gym, your schedule is really hard. Got to get to work by 9 and you're exhausted after 6 when you get home. Well, what is a successful person going to do? Going to figure it out. He's going to go work out at lunch. He's going to wake up super early. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe that sucks and that's painful for you, but successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. Let's talk about dating, going out, approaching women, getting rejected. Maybe you're 45 years old and you go, wow, that seems silly. I got to go out and approach women. I got to go to a bar or I got to go to a crowded area during the day where people are shopping. Do I really have to do this? No, you don't have to, but the people who are unsuccessful are not going to do that. But if you're willing to do that, the thing that seems a little ridiculous or a little bit hard, you're going to see results in that area. I would almost say this is another way of saying success lies outside of your comfort zone, but that saying is a little old now, and I like the one that I've been using. because there's something motivational in there. And I think men can really attach to that idea of like, yeah, I want to be successful. So I'm going to do the things that most people are not willing to do. Let's go.
I love that. It's almost like the analogy a lot of things you say, it's almost like aligned with entrepreneurship and
Yeah, any
and
goal, any
dating.
goal.
Yeah, with any goal, entrepreneurship and goal is persistence and consistency and keep moving. I wouldn't say fail, we did not succeed. And I never thought about kind of dating in that sense. It definitely opened up some new frontier for me, just listening to what you were saying. But I want to kind of, when you were talking about physical and personality, is there research that showed, I mean, initially before we meet somebody, there's definitely a physical thing because we judge what we see. Our mind processes what we see, what we hear, and everything. So there's this definitely physical trait that is the first impression before you start reading somebody. So is there research that show how long that take? Like let's say a man approaches a woman, how long does that take? As she looks at him, she's assessing his physical physique, how he carries himself, his hygiene, what he wears, and so forth. How long does it take the personality kind of override the physical
Okay.
attribute?
Well, here's what happens. It's pretty much instantaneously. So it doesn't take too long for man or woman to assess physically whether or not they find the person attractive. And even to the degree of, would I sleep with this person? Now, for a man, it happens a lot quicker. For a woman, she may say, I want to sleep. I would sleep with this guy, but women will not sleep with a man that fast as a man would with a woman because she has to think about safety. That's a whole other thing. But to answer your question, yeah, it happens instantaneously from all that I've researched. However, when it comes down to your personality, it actually makes you more attractive physically. What I mean is, if you've ever heard a woman say, I don't know what it is about this guy, I like him, but he's not really my type. He's not the kind of guy I would go for. Like straight up that line. He's not the kind of guy that I go for, but I like him. What may happen is you go up to a woman, and by the way, make or break. You can go up to a woman and she would be like, I would sleep with this guy. I'm attracted to him. But then you open your mouth and you're creepy, you're not confident, you're kind of weird, you're not giving good eye contact, you're not being playful and funny. All those things can hurt your now ability to then have sex with this woman, go on a date with this woman. So when you are approaching a woman or when you're on a date with a woman and she doesn't find you that physically attractive, once she sees more of those leadership qualities, charisma, confidence, decisiveness, those masculine traits, holding eye contact, speaking well, showing your intellect, showing that you have a life that you care about, that you're passionate about and desire. And yes, I know that's a lot. It's like, well, how do you show all that within 2 minutes? I mean, you don't. You start to roll it out. But the way that you speak to a woman, at least in the very beginning, you can start to get this kind of like sales, kind of like marketing you were saying. It can start to persuade a little bit because now she's getting this whole other side of you because now she's taking in more than just visually. You were saying what happens visually, but there's more. There's other senses that women are picking up on from what she hears, from what she even what down to what she smells. That's why people wear cologne and there's such thing as pheromones. And also not just seeing what you look like, but seeing how you act. If you go up to a woman, you're not giving her eye contact and you're kind of tight body language and you're showing really shy or you're really monotone and you're talking like this and you don't have that kind of charismatic vibe to you in the way that you're speaking with your tone, she's going to see that, she's going to hear that, and that can hurt your chances or make your chances. Again, it might sound overwhelming to a guy who's listening to this. Wow, that sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot of work. A lot of this becomes second nature, and a lot of men already have this. Most of us know how to talk, how to speak. Most of us have intellect. It's just the nervousness that you feel when you're talking to a woman you're attracted to and you're scared of rejection starts to damper some of those personality traits, and it makes it harder. So then what you need to do, circling back to what I said very earlier on this call, is you need to practice, have conversations, go out, talk to women you're attracted to, practice that approach, go on the dates so that you can get better at this and become more comfortable with it over time. So it's not as challenging as I thought it was when I was learning this stuff. I mean, quick background on me is I was a very shy guy. I had a little bit of a fun personality, but I didn't really know how to show it. I I dampered myself. I chained myself because I didn't want to get rejected or I was fearing what people would think of me. And then over time, I started to care less. And that made me become more charismatic over time with years of practice and coming out of my shell. So it is possible for many men.
Okay, modern man, you are not alone and you don't have to suffer anymore. ED can feel isolating, frustrating, and even defeating. The endless guessing, the quiet shame, the weight of not feeling like yourself is exhausting. But here's the truth: you are not broken, you are not alone, and you don't have to figure this out alone anymore. The Get Wood Now Boost program is your step-by-step path to sexual confidence and restoration. No more suffering in silence, no more trial and error, just real solution, real result, and the confidence you deserve. It's time to take back your power on your term. Let's get this journey started together. Check out the course at getwoodnow.com. I'll see you there. So, from what I hear, and I hear this a lot, is charisma is learned. You're not born with it. Charisma is something that you've learned, but you have to practice and then get confidence with it. And I'm just going to hit it right on the point. How much of sexual performance is to a man at this point? I've heard saying from my patient, from friends that, hey, if I'm not performing in the bedroom, I'm not a man at all. And so let's say he's not at his best optimal performance in the bedroom. How can he compensate for that in his personality or in his relationship or his dating?
It really goes down to the same formulas I was talking about. You can't really just have sexual confidence by thinking about it. Obviously, there's going to be things that help. You help with that, with erectile dysfunction. So that is something that you do and can fix on your own. But once you have that fixed or mostly fixed, because think about it, right? What are we talking about? Sexual confidence. What does that even mean? What does sexual confidence look like? Okay, I would imagine it looks like a guy being with a woman, feeling fully comfortable that he's going to be able to please her and be more inhibited in the bedroom. Now, that stuff isn't really challenging to do. So, where is this lack of confidence coming from? It's just coming from up here. That's all it is. So, you're not going to convince yourself in a room alone or by watching porn on a screen that you can be good in the bed. You have to be with women. That's how you build sexual confidence. You have to be with women sexually. You have to be sleeping with women. You have to have sexual experiences. Because I promise you, even just a couple, you don't have to be a Casanova sleeping with a new girl every week. Even having a few positive experiences, or at least learning from some experiences and learning your body when it's with another woman, is going to start to give you a new mindset, right? It's going to help you with how you're acting with a woman the next time you see them. So a lot of it starts with some of the things that you do, Anne, with fixing erectile dysfunction. And a lot of it has to do with what I teach with, okay, well, before you have sex, you have to what? Meet women, go on dates, approach, online dating, do all those things. So I wouldn't even concern yourself right now with sexual confidence and having that. I would rather a guy work on meeting a lot of women, having a lot of volume, working on some charismatic traits, getting rejected a bunch, going on dates where some go well, some don't, and then trying to pursue women sexually and seeing what happens from there. And then you can see how your sexual confidence is there. It's like we don't want to put the cart before the horse, or else you're just going to go insane and be so overwhelmed that none of this is going to happen. So don't connect your sexual confidence to your confidence with going and talking to a woman. Yeah, they're intertwined, but one thing at a time. Get to the point where you can have even a chance where you are going to sleep with the woman. Once we have many of those chances, good. Now we can work on more of our sexual confidence. I do the
Yeah.
same thing when men are approaching women. You know, they go, oh, there's a girl over there. Like, what do? I got to do all these things. I got to flirt. I got to give good eye contact. I have a whole list. I'm going crazy. I can't do this. I'm not going to approach. You're getting ahead of yourself here. Why not just go out one day and wave hello to 10 different women? Because if you can't do that, then nothing's going to work. Now to connect everything in my little ecosystem here, I don't want to go talk to women and say hi to 10. That's weird, Tripp. You don't have to. But guess what? Successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. So it's all kind of connected there. Baby steps and you get to that point. And then you see, I don't know, maybe you think you don't have sexual confidence, and all of a sudden you're with a woman, you guys are getting sexual, she's really into you, and all of a sudden you just have it because it's primal. And you think that you were going to mess up in the bedroom and you were just a rock star. How do you know? You're just guessing. You're making up little thoughts and stories in your head. Okay, maybe that doesn't happen. You're with a woman, you can't get it up, didn't go really well, but then she doesn't really care because you're good at going down on her, and then that helps a little bit. We don't want to solve problems we don't have yet. You don't know you have a problem until you take action.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I see that all the time is that when I'm working with men with ED, and even though they get better, even after treatment, they're still fixated on, oh my God, I gotta be rock hard, ready to go in 5 minutes. And I'm not, then I'm not the man that I used to be. And arousal takes time. Sometimes you gotta let your body be prepared. And if you're with a partner and you're attracted to her, she's attracted to you, that in itself is actually an initiator of the erection response. The brain is a larger sexual organ for men and for women. And we oftentimes focus on our sexual organ instead of up here, because if nothing goes on up here in the brain, nothing's going to be initiated below the belt. And there are three steps that need to happen in the brain first before even go down the nerve to go down to your sexual organs, like the senses. Your senses need to be aroused, like what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you hear, and touch. All those senses occur during dating, sexual encounter, right? But then that gets processed in your emotional state, meaning if you're fearful, if you're distressed, that kind of dampen down that senses that feed into it. And then that gets processed also in the brain, in the hormones. Different hormones need to be released as well in the brain before the initiation go down the nerve, down the chain to stimulate your heart to get more blood flow, and then more blood flow go down to the sexual organ. But three steps need to occur in the brain. But if your mindset is not in the right state, that will dampen that fire, and it's not going to go past it. And I see men is that they're not focusing on the mindset. I always tell them, like, just relax, don't focus on performance, enjoy the moment, enjoy your senses, get into it, and then don't think about, oh my God, am I going to get it up this time? Am I going to be able to perform or not? 'Cause the more you think about it, guess what? It's not going to happen, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's almost like counterintuitive. It's like the more you think about it, it's not gonna happen. But that the way our body is made is that it's all in sometimes in what thoughts that you put in your mind that allows you to be able to have the function that you want. So it's exactly what you were saying, even about dating as well, too. Because I can tell you the mind is so powerful because men that are paralyzed from the neck down, can't feel anything, can still get an erection because of the power of the mind. As the
I
power
think
of the mind is that powerful.
I think what you're saying here, it connects to exactly what I'm saying. What we're talking about is the art of being present and doing. That's everything. Because yeah, the more present you are, the less thinking you're doing, and the more that you'll be able to tap into your body sexually, the more that you'll be able to just go out, talk to women, date. This isn't tennis in a sense. This is not sailing. This isn't a technical skill. This is your body knows how to do all these things. You know how to talk, you know how to converse with people, and then you know how to have sex. Even if you've never had it before, you know how to do it. You just know how to do all these things that we're talking about. But in order to do them, it's more about getting out of your head and staying in the moment and just doing the thing that you need to do. So, not listening to your thoughts, letting your thoughts wash through you. A lot of this is also Buddhist practices. If you read the book, The Power of Now, this helps tremendously. I recommend that book to anyone who's trying to learn how to be more present and stay in the moment. But like Anne's saying, being present, like I'm saying, taking action, all of that together would be like step one. And then you see what happens.
That's right. Start with step one and see what happened. And I tell men, act as if you're in the playground. Get there and see how you feel and decide whether you want to do the swing, the slide, the monkey bars, or what. Just being present. Because amazingly, that works. That works. I mean, I saw many, many men that would say, well, yesterday I had the best sex. We went on for an hour and a half. Last week couldn't get it up. The week before it was partial. You're like, oh, what the heck is going on? And that kind of tapped into the presence. It's like maybe his mindset. Having said that, I really enjoy our conversation today. I've learned quite a few bit of stuff, and it almost feel like, oh my God, seems like the guy have to do a lot to kind of attract women. Is that the case? If I were a man, I'll be like, oh my goodness, what I need to do. What are your thoughts?
In terms of what next steps of exactly what to
Yeah,
do?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so like you just listened to this episode and now you're going, where do I begin? So I'll give you a homework and I'm going to make it very easy for you. You're going to take 1 hour this week, whenever works for you, and you're going to go out and you're going to say hi to 10 people, men, women, doesn't matter, over 18, obviously. Do that. Step one. Step two, you're going to call up and find or email a photographer in your area, and you're going to get pictures of yourself for your online dating profile. Okay, I want very clear how these steps are. I didn't say start an online dating app profile. I said hire a photographer. That's step two. Get pictures done that are just various pictures. The photographer will know what to do. That's going to be the best step to getting more matches online. I'm going to stop there because that's a lot right there for people. Do that. Just do that. If you can do that, you've already done more than probably 90% of guys.
Why professional photographers instead of just using your phone do selfies?
Selfies, they've done studies on selfies. They don't get enough matches because the angle in which you're taking the selfie is not attractive. You can't, I mean, you could, but most people don't know how to do it. The most attractive angle, which I can go into detail, but again, you don't need to know this, the photographer should know this, is really no closer than a medium shot from the stomach, belly button up with a slowly tilted head down. So you're not like, your neck isn't up like this, but just below parallel, I should say, just a little bit down. And then a slight smile with a very, it's called a squinch, a very slight squint in your eyes, very slight. So that's going to be the most attractive. And you can't really get that from a selfie. For those who are just listening, I'm holding my phone, I'm putting it up to myself, it won't get that angle.
Oh
And
yeah,
okay,
I'm
real
the
quick, a
worst
lot of
selfie person, so
yeah, we
I
all
know
are. We
exactly
all
what
are.
you mean.
Yeah, no one takes a good selfie.
It's not that expensive to get a professional photographer for a few shots.
Even if it is,
Yeah,
spend the money. I mean, how important is it to you to get, if this is a priority for you and you want to really get a lot of matches and you want to meet women, then spend the money. Use a credit card, go into debt, get a loan. I don't know, your house savings, take a little bit more out. I mean, if it's not a priority for you, then yeah, I guess go as cheap as you can. But if it is, do it right. Spend the money. It's worth the investment because it's going to get you results, and then you're going to be super happy that you did it.
Yeah. When you say hi, is it just a wave or is it kind of like, hey, I'm Tripp. How are you? Is it coming over, shaking hands, starting conversation? What is that? What does
Good
that
question.
entail saying
Good
hi?
question. Yes, let's get more specific. Looking and giving eye contact and just saying hello. That's it. And walking past them. Little wave, hand in the air, hello, eye contact, walk away.
Yeah, love it. Love that. And it's simple. You can do this. Men, you can do this. And the law of attraction has not changed thousands of years. It's still
Yeah,
the same, whether caveman days or nowadays. But then with the women empowerment, the waters are a little bit tougher, but it's still the same. So having said that, I know that you run Trip Advice. Tell us about what you do and how men can work with you.
absolutely. So we have a whole coaching team over here at Tripp Advice. We specialize in helping men, especially men over 30, with dating, meeting women, attraction, online dating, approaching, basically any kind of guy who's looking to get more dates. We work with all ages. We've even worked with people, guys up to 70 years old, but we work with men who are ready to make changes in their dating lives. There's no shortcuts in life, but I'll say working with us is like a shortcut because you just don't have to do too much trial and error. So we can cut to exactly what needs to be done to be able to get you the volume, be more attractive, get more dates, have more experiences. And this is for guys who are either looking for just, hey, I want to have fun and have sexual experiences, or for guys who are like, no, I want a girlfriend, I want a wife, I want to settle down, I want to do something like that. So we help in all those areas and we guide you and tell you exactly what to do. We call it the Trip Advice Accelerator Program. So if you're interested in learning more about that, we do free calls. You can book a free call with us at trippadvicecoaching.com. And Trip is with 2 P's.
Okay. And I myself work with Tripp, and his team also help us with our men in getting sexual restoration as well too. And so check out his website. We'll put that in the link in the description. And having said that, I hope, modern man, that you find this valuable, and just know that you are not alone. There are resources out there, and do not suffer in silence. There are help. Check Tripp out, check our program out and our coaching program as well at noedman.com. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you, Tripp, for being with us today.
Thank you, Dr. Ann. Appreciate your time.
Okay, modern men, you are not alone and you don't have to suffer anymore. ED can feel isolating, frustrating, and even defeating. The endless guessing, the quiet shame, the weight of not feeling like yourself. It's exhausting, but here's the truth. You are not broken. You are not alone. You don't have to figure this out alone anymore. The Get Wood Now Boost program is your step-by-step path to sexual confidence and restoration. No more suffering in silence. No more trial and error. Just real solution, real result, and the confidence you deserve. It's time to take back your power on your terms. Let's get this journey started together. Check out the course at getwoodnow.com. I'll see you there.